Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I'm Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Today I have for you a quick and easy fun fold card, and the name kind of says it all. This is an easy stand-up card, and it's called that because it's an easy card to make, but it stands up. So it's sort of a display piece for your recipient. So it's a card and something pretty to look at all at once. This idea was inspired by Karen Titus. She is a fellow demonstrator, and she made this, and I really liked it, and I thought this is remarkably easy, and it really easy really almost doesn't cut it. It's so simple to make this card. So let's get started, and I will show you how to make it. Oop. It really does stand up, I promise. The gremlins have been busy in my studio today. Hopefully they won't visit too much. So we're going to start with a card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, so it's half a sheet of cardstock. We're going to form the card base a little differently than we would a normal card. However, and I didn't mention, this card does fit in a standard A2 size envelope once it's folded flat. So that's really a nice thing. So 5.5 by 8.5. On the 8.5 inch side, we are going to score each end at 2 inches and 3 1/8. This is incredibly easy to make, and I recommend if you need more than one or you want an extra for your stash, make them at the same time. Before you cut your paper in half, take your full sheet of cardstock, so it's 8.5 by 11, and do your scoring like I'm going to show you in a minute, and then cut in half and you'll have 2 card bases ready to go. It's that simple and really easy to either mass produce or just make 2 at a time. I figure if I'm making one, I might as well make 2 and have one for down the road when I need it. So we're going to go in 2 inches and score. Slide over to 3 1/8. Take the paper out and rotate it all the way around. 2 inches and 3 1/8. And that is all the scoring we need to do. So it's an easy fun fold and easy stand-up card. So we're going to start with some DSP to decorate the card. Now you can either fold it first, or I like to work with it flat and glue my paper on and then fold it. I just figure why make myself work harder, right? So let me find my pieces here. For our outer DSP, which are for the outer panels, these are 1 3/4 inch wide by 5 1/4 inch tall, so you'll need 2. And then we're also going to use a piece for our center panel. This one is slightly wider. It's 2 inches wide and 5 1/4 inches tall. So if you're using directional paper, just make sure you're cutting it in the right direction so you're happy with how the card looks, as opposed to using an all-over print where it doesn't matter so much. I also mentioned back panel. Some of the demonstrators I saw create this card simply made it the focal display piece. I chose to add a panel on the back because I like to sign my name. I like to put a little message in my cards. So I added a piece of cardstock, which we'll see used in a minute here. This is just basic white, 2 inches by 5 1/4, the same width as that DSP. No fancy glue needed for this card, whatever your favorite adhesive is. We'll see how well mine work tonight. Just leave yourself a little border around the edges. I typically start with the middle because then when I put on my outer panels, I can make sure I'm leaving the same amount of border at the top or as close to it as I can manage. Whereas if I started on the left and worked to the right, I'd probably be too high on one end and too low on the other. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Okay. If you've been here before, you know my glue is notorious for acting up on camera. And as usual, no exception today. All right, so there is the front of our card. Before I fold, I'm gonna go ahead and work on my back panel. So with our card here, you can do a variety of things, but I'm going to keep my decorations solely in my die cut. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment for the front and then add my stamps to the back as well. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done. One thing I will say is you have to keep it to a narrow stamp. This is only 2 inches across. So if you have a great big happy birthday, or in this case, my sentiment for the front is obviously too wide. I'd be missing some letters and it would look silly to do it the other way. So just keep that in mind. It's a small spot for writing. I did have to dig into some of my retired sentiments for a few of the cards, but that's okay. And I'm going to apologize because I have to sneeze. Oh, bless me. And I usually sneeze in doubles, so we'll see where the other one shows up. Could be on camera, maybe not. All right, so there's the back panel. And while I have my shaded spruce, I don't think I mentioned, this is shaded spruce cardstock that I'm using, and coordinating ink. And the stamp set I am using coordinates with our fun turtles. This is the Turtly Awesome stamp set, and there are dies. So depending on which paper you're using with this set, now this guy I had to fussy cut, but we have 3 of the turtles that we can die cut directly from the paper with the die cuts. And you can always get the stamp set separately if you don't have a die cutting machine or you're not interested in one. Up to you. We give you options. Okay. So here's the back panel. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on now. Again, you can do your folding before. I just find it's a lot easier to work with when it's still flat on my table. All right, flip that back over. One last bit of stamping, and then I'm going to put my inks away before I drop something in them. You can use whatever size sentiment you want with a word of caution. Obviously, I mentioned you have to have something kind of narrow on the back of the card. For the front, you can have it be longer. You can keep it to the 2-inch panel, or you can make it a little bit longer, but keep in mind that you don't want it to overhang your edges when it's folded shut, or it won't fit in the envelope. I had to trim one down earlier today because it was hanging off to the side, so I had to make it work. You can kind of combat that a little with positioning, but obviously if your sentiment was really long, it wouldn't fit in the envelope. So just keep that in mind while you're working. Okay, so now I think we're to the point where you can fold, and then we'll decorate the rest of the front. So how I start my folding, you've got your 4 score lines. I like to fold on the one closest to the center. It doesn't really matter left or right. Fold it down and crease it, and then flip the paper over and fold that panel back. And then just repeat on the other side. You can use your bone folder if you want, or just use your fingers. Give it a good press, and look at that, stands right up. So we're just going to decorate it. I am going to pop this on dimensionals. This is the largest circle from the Stylish Shapes stamp set. You can see the stitching around the edges. I love that. I love a die cut with some kind of perforated edge or design. You're going to see a couple here. Now I am going to keep in mind, I don't want to put my dimensionals all the way out to the edge, all the way around, because if I did, it would glue the card shut, and that would defeat the purpose of the stand-up card, and I wouldn't be able to write on the back. So be mindful with your dimensional placement. That's the key thing for this card, otherwise easy peasy. So again, super easy. Let's see. Make sure I put that in the right spot, and you can spread that out to work with. Just keep in mind where your panels are as you're working. Let's see, I'm gonna add, how do I want to do this? I realized my little chef is facing the wrong direction, but we'll make it work. I think what I'm gonna do is glue this guy down flat. But because the little legs are so thin here, I'm just gonna grab a couple of glue dots from my paper pumpkin kit. I love these things. I talk about them all the time. I'm not one to waste supplies. So if you have any of our kits that came with glue dots, save these little sheets because our rolled glue dots are really awesome. They're very sticky. However, if I were to put this on the roll and pull it off, I'd probably rip the leg off the grill, which would defeat the purpose. So these little glue dots, which are just as sticky but a little easier to maneuver, work very well. And if you have any overhang, you can kind of just tuck it right up. All right, so let's see. I'll do that. And then I'm going to pop my turtle here on dimensionals. Yeah, that's cute. I think I might come back and put a little bling on this one. Does anybody else ever have the problem that your dimensionals like to hide on the desk, but in reality, they're staring you in the face? I have done that so many times this week. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure I'm not alone. All right. So I'm going to take the dimensional backings off this guy. This is going to take me longer than it did to put the whole card together. Come on. One more. Okay. So obviously you can see you can decorate these any which way you like. Oop. I think I'm going to have to take this guy off. Yep. Because otherwise it was going to seal the card shut. I almost broke my own rule. There we go. All right, so now I want to add my sentiment. You can have it off to one side. You can center it directly. As I said, just don't do it too long so you don't have to go searching for a larger envelope. So I'm going to keep my dimensionals close to the center on this as well. Okay. And there we go. So hope your birthday is totally awesome. And it's okay to take it slow. So as I said, I might come back and just put some very subtle bling in here to fill in that little space. But I love it. So there is our quick and easy stand-up card. Wouldn't that be fun to get and then stand up on a table where you can see it all the time? So I have some more samples for you because this is so much fun. And it was easier to make two of everything than one. So this is a new stamp set we have. We have a new catalog that just came out in early May of 2025. If you need a paper catalog, please feel free to get in touch with me and I will work that out with you. Or you can visit my website, thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net, and see the new catalog online as well as our online exclusives. And we rolled out a bunch in May, including our new Hugs and Healing stamp set. This is one of the images in it. And I just love the quick and easy stand-up card. Wouldn't it be nice if you were recovering something to have something like that just looking at you all the time and make you feel like somebody loved you because they took the time to send you a card? And as I said, I couldn't make up my mind which design I should use. So here is another one, different image in the same set. And you can see you can play around with shapes. This one was almost too big for the envelope, but we just squeaked it in under the wire there. So lots of fun. Oh, I forgot to show you the other turtle cards I made. So again, using different DSP from that same set. Look at these guys. Aren't they fun? And they stand up. And this one, very simple, more of a congratulatory card with the music notes. All right. Now, Father's Day is coming, so I did make a couple of Father's Day cards. This is using one of our online exclusives that released previously, the Framed Scenes, and our Nested Essentials dies. This could be a birthday card or a Father's Day card for Dad. And here is one more. This one is using one of the die cuts from that Framed Scenes set. I love the wood grain here. And then last but not least, we have some beautiful new floral DSP. So I've done a couple cards with that. And one of my favorite new stamp sets, which is our Feathered Fun. These are the lovebirds from the set. So I experimented with some different die cuts. And this was the sentiment strip that I had to cut down. There's a little flourish that keeps on going, but I had to cut it off. And I did have to dig out a retired set for that happy anniversary to have one narrow enough to fit. And then this card is very similar. I did just stick with that stitched die cut, but I put Wink of Stella for a little shimmer on the card. It doesn't come across well on camera, but I just love it. It's a very nice subtle shimmer effect, again, to go with our anniversary wishes. And I would love to get that and then just set it up on my table to see all the time. So there is our easy stand-up card. Really simple to make. And it's a fun fold. My favorites are fun fold that don't take a lot of time and effort, because it's nice to make those once in a while, but I don't like to slave away all day over cards. It's like cooking a big recipe. Who wants to do all that? Make something quick, easy, and fun for your recipient. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd love for you to do so. You can click the notification bell and be notified each time a video goes live here on the Facebook or the YouTube channel. You can find me over on Facebook as The Faithful Stamper. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about products, techniques. I offer workshops online and in person, and offer just different contests and ways to win little embellishment packs on my Facebook page. So I'd love to have you there as part of that community. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.